Hey guys, my name is Christina.
My name is Brian, and welcome to What the F*** Did I Just Watch?
Where every week we will be rolling a 26-face die that will determine the first letter of the movie we will watch this week.
The twist is that one of us, or both of us, have never seen the movie before.
So join us as we share our thoughts on the movie.
I mean, that's gonna be horrible, but yes, absolutely.
Have a few laughs.
Stop it. And discuss what the f*** we just watched.
Merry Christmas, everyone. And welcome back to another exciting episode of A Christmas Classic, starring Bruce Willis, Alan Rickman, and Bonnie Bedelia. What does that say? That's a hard last name.
Bedelia?
Bedelia.
Bedelia?
Bedelia? Sure. Bonnie Bedelia.
Yep, we're good at research.
Yeah, there we go.
Yep.
Roll it.
Stop.
There, trailer. Okay.
Can't just say roll it.
I am here joined with my best friend Pants.
Yes, that is me.
Okay.
Bring in the car.
What?
I don't know, the guy kept yelling, bring in the car.
Oh. We decided to watch a Christmas classic
You decided.
Okay, you're right. I decided to watch a Christmas classic that I had never seen before in the month of June.
Mm-hmm.
I guess May, but for you guys, it's June.
Yes, indeed.
So we're 6 months in preparation for Christmas Day. I'd never seen Die Hard. I hope nobody takes offense to that.
I do. I hadn't seen it the whole way through. So this was also my first real foray into the Die Hard.
Classic.
Yeah, sure.
It honestly added another movie to what we could watch during Christmas. I didn't know that it was a Christmas classic. I've heard people watching it during Christmas time, but
I was actually going to ask you later on if you would consider this a Christmas movie or not, because it is like a highly debated topic whether Die Hard is a Christmas movie or if it's just a movie that takes place at Christmas.
I see what you're saying. Do you want to ask me now?
Seems like I did.
Okay. It's going to be a long day, Pants, if you don't calm your tits. I think that I can see why people would consider it a Christmas movie. I was trying to think of that too, because I can't think of any Christmas action movies that people might watch. There's a lot of funny comedies that people watch for Christmas. But I don't know of any action movies. So I think that this kind of covered that. So for people who don't want to watch necessarily just like a straight up comedy or an animation or something like that, Die Hard would be a good substitute because it takes place during Christmas. You have a New York City cop. New York City is very fond of their police force. And so I think that it kind of is like an overall American kind of classic. And then they just put it with Christmas.
What? So, yes or no? Do you consider it a Christmas movie?
Yes.
Okay.
An action Christmas movie.
No, just a Christmas movie.
An action Christmas movie.
Okay.
There's animated Christmas movies.
There's Christmas movies, and then there's subcategories of said Christmas movies.
Okay, well, this is a Christmas action movie.
Okay.
Why are you fighting me? Do you not think that it's a Christmas movie?
No, I don't.
Oh. Alas lies the real.
No, I've heard it debated a lot, like in the same vein as people asking or people debating if Nightmare Before Christmas is a Christmas movie or not.
Well, that one's a duh too.
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess Halloween versus Christmas movie for that one.
Okay, I see.
But I mean, for that, I would definitely consider Nightmare Before Christmas a Christmas movie.
That's what's so fun about Nightmare Before Christmas is that you can start watching it October 31st and it is perfectly fine to continue watching it until Christmas.
It's only like an hour and a half long.
I don't see what you're saying. You can watch it multiple times.
Oh, okay.
Okay, technical asshole.
Thought you...
You're going to start on October 31st and finish it on Christmas Day? What are you watching, like 10-second intervals? The Snyder Cut.
Nightmare Before Christmas, the Snyder Cut.
That would be very long.
Yeah, I know. It would go from October 31st to December 21st.
Damn it. Oh.
But no, I don't. I think Die Hard is an action movie that takes place at Christmas. It doesn't give me Christmas vibes at all. Whereas like Home Alone, I could see being a Christmas movie.
Sure.
Nightmare Before Christmas movie. Anyway, do you have a synopsis for this movie?
I do.
Wonderful.
I'll hit you with it. Here we go. An NYPD officer tries to save his wife and several others taken hostage by German terrorists during a Christmas party at the Nakatomi Plaza in Los Angeles.
Die Hard came out in 1988. It's starring Bruce Willis, Alan Rickman, and Bonnie Bedelia.
Yeah, I'll go with that. Bedelia?
Bedelia?
Sure.
Yeah, okay. Directed by John McTiernan. The budget for Die Hard was $28 million, and the gross for US and Canada was $83.8 million.
They made quite a bit.
Indeed.
IMDb has this as an 8.2. Rotten Tomatoes has a 94%, with an audience of 94% as well. That's awesome.
Everybody loves Die Hard.
I mean, I think they do, considering how many additional movies are tied with this one. How many did they come up with?
I think there's 5.
Wow.
I think.
Are they all as successful?
No. I was, I'll go into a little bit more in a sec, but I had a back and forth with a few people on Twitter about it. It was kind of the consensus that the further you get into it, the worse it gets, which I think is pretty much like par for the course with most movies with like a bunch of sequels.
Yeah.
I think I was told that Good Day to Die Hard was bad, which is I think the most recent, like 2013 or 2017. 2013 we'll go with. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But
that wasn't made that long ago. Interesting.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bruce is still making those movies.
That is pretty much what he's doing now. It's just being John McClane. Because his other movies, I've seen him in a lot of like direct to video movies in the last few years. Okay, I've just seen him on the cover of stuff that I've never heard of. But yes, we did watch, or I watched this at least on Hulu. You watched it there as well?
Yes.
Right. Okay. I think there's 3 of them on Hulu. Not the first 3.
Oh, just like,
but like
3.
The first one, the third one, and another one.
Yeah.
I think.
They like to do that so that you like buy it off of them so you can watch all of them.
I guess. But I think the second one is on Cinemax, and I don't even know where the other ones are. So anyway, this was your first time seeing Die Hard. What did you think?
Yeah. I liked it.
Okay.
I like the cast. Like, I know that Bruce Willis usually plays kind of the same character. I'm trying to think, like, I literally see him in my head only in action movies and kind of like
Well, he was just doing comedy prior to this. This was his first action role.
So every time I think about him, I think of like a funny scene or something action related, but it's probably the Die Hard movies because they've been around for a long time. Just because I haven't seen them doesn't mean that I haven't seen things from that movie.
Right.
No, I mean, I did enjoy it. I think that for what it was and when it came out, it was pretty funny. I also really love Alan Rickman. I mean, yes. So I like him a lot. And it was really interesting to see him in a role like this. And so young.
He was very young.
Yes.
Yeah. They were all super young.
Yeah.
They're all babies.
I liked the action part of it. I've told you that I like action movies. It was really funny to see how movies have changed. I feel like recently, and correct me if I'm wrong, like the theme is always like Russia or Germany as the bad guys. But these guys were, how do I put this nicely? Like, okay, so the way that they kind of portrayed the Germans was kind of fucked up in the sense that they just, it's very stereotypical and like wrong, right? And so I know that was, I don't want to say that was more acceptable, but we were still trying to get people on board in 1988. And so it was hard to watch, but it was funny. Again, because I'm just taking the movie for what it is and imagining or putting myself in a position in which this is the first time I'm watching it and when it came out. But outside of that, it had a really interesting cast too. The guy that is the one that cracks the codes, he actually was on Walker, Texas Ranger.
Really?
He was his number 2. And I knew I recognized him from somewhere, and I was like, where's this guy from?
I never liked Walker, Texas Ranger.
Oh my God, I used to watch it a lot as a kid.
I could not.
Yeah.
No.
Because Chuck Norris will never die.
So whenever they introduced Alan Rickman as Hans Gruber, my immediate thought was that he's not German. and that the accent was, I think, probably nowadays maybe offensive.
Oh yeah.
I didn't, of course. I mean, I didn't take offense
I can't
to
pick
it.
up on that kind of stuff either way. I'm more focused on trying to make sure I understand what's coming out of their mouth because I hate asking people to repeat themselves.
They probably wouldn't cast someone like Alan Rickman, who's obviously not German, not American, but they would probably get somebody with German heritage to be the character. But I think after I got past all of his crew just kind of being like the whole German caricature and really over the top with their looks and their accent and the blonde hair, blue eyes, and it was fun.
Yeah.
Like I guess I'll get more into it. I don't have, I guess, the same affinity for it that a lot of people do. But again, I just saw it the whole way through.
Yeah.
For the first time. Yeah. I mean, I also I also watched it pretty close to Army of the Dead, which just came out.
Oh, that's right.
And that was a shit show. And so this could only go up. So I'm glad I watched this after that. But they're both kind of heisty and deal with code breaking and shit. But this one did it a lot better. And I think a German did it in Army of the Dead.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So before we hop into your favorite part, spoiler warnings, we're going to let you listen to a little bit of the trailer. Here we go, Pants.
It's Christmas Eve in L.A.
California.
Is Daddy coming home soon?
Well, we'll see what Santa and Mommy can do, okay?
And New York cop John McClane has come to see his wife.
I missed you.
Instead, he's going to have to save her.
Sit down.
Within this skyscraper high above the city, 12 terrorists have declared war.
They're about to be taught a lesson in the real use of power.
Here we go, Pants.
What a great clip.
What a clip.
Did you hear Bruce Willis doing his thing?
No, because you haven't put it in yet.
I assume we heard it. And it was great.
What thing?
Blowing shit up and probably yelling something.
Okay.
The snappy one-liners.
I would say, because you kind of talked about it before we
Are we getting
played
into
the
spoilers?
trailer. So if you haven't seen the movie, if you want to see the movie, this is the time to pause, go watch it, and then come back. You can join us for a little chit-chat about the movie. But you can't join us because you're just going to be listening.
Chit-chat me. Go.
Spoiler. So I was going to say, you touched on it a little bit before we went on break. I'm just kidding. There's no break. About how you don't have the same emotional attachment to this movie. And I think that a lot of Christmas classics for people, especially for myself, root in the fact that my parents played them during Christmas. So even though this is something that is a Christmas movie and I'm sure a lot of people watch it, I know it's probably because their upbringing, they played it every Christmas. So it's kind of one of those things where it's tradition for them, right? So that's kind of like the SNL special.
Do you think parents played Die Hard for their children?
Yeah. I don't think that they're playing it like, let's all sit down and watch it. But I'm sure that that's a movie that's played during Christmas while people are cooking or they have family over, and they're all just kind of celebrating Christmas and it's on the TV in the background. And what do kids do? They play and they sit down and they watch TV. And so as you grow up, you kind of remember those things. You want to watch them again. It brings you back to those moments in time where you're watching Die Hard on Christmas and it becomes, boom, a Christmas movie.
That is how a Christmas movie is made.
Correct. Sometimes I don't know what to do with your face. I'm like, I feel like I haven't like finished my statement, but you're already judging me. And I'm like, okay.
It's out of love.
I'm sure it is.
It is.
So anyways, what are some of your favorite parts of Die Hard, Pants?
Bruce Willis was very good in this. I am not a huge Bruce Willis fan. He's okay. He's a little bit played out to me. I
think that's the fault of the characters they kept putting him into.
True.
I feel like he performs very well as a certain character in movies, and he gets cast that way a lot. And so every time you see him, you're like, oh, Bruce, you're funny. I get it, but
I think I like the movies he's in, but not necessarily him in the movies, if that makes sense.
It does.
So, like, I thought Unbreakable, the M. Night Shyamalan movie, was very good.
Oh, yeah.
I thought Sixth Sense was good, and I thought he was good in that.
I've never seen Sixth Sense. It's just been so long that I know he's dead.
Yeah.
I said
Which
spoilers.
kind of takes the... Yeah, but we said spoilers for this
I
movie.
know. If you haven't seen Sixth Sense, welcome.
Yeah.
I didn't want to get spoiled either.
Yeah,
but
I
it
think,
happened.
unfortunately, that's a movie that just everybody knows the twist of. Mm-hmm. And
It was cool when it came out, though. I know that whenever it did come out, there was a lot of hype behind that one.
yeah.
They're like, you have to see what happens. You're like, oh, he's dead, right? I already heard from Sam. Good job, though.
Who the fuck is Sam?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Just a generic name of somebody who told me.
Sorry to all the Sams listening that she thinks you're generic. Looper. I think Looper is a great movie, and he's pretty good in it with Joseph Gordon-Levitt, the time travel movie.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I just don't remember him being in it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he is the star of the movie.
He's him, right?
Yeah, they are.
We are spoiling so many movies right now.
They are them. So
Gonna have to
thank
put a
you
warning.
for
We spoil a lot of
tuning
movies.
into our spoiler cast. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed the movie. I think there's a few storylines that just didn't need to happen. That being like the whole side story with the newscaster and him trying to like get the story.
Oh, yeah.
That just didn't go anywhere.
Sure. It really didn't.
No, it really felt like they could have trimmed that out and it would have been the same movie. Because I think the movie was a little too long. Mm-hmm. It's like 130 minutes, so it's just over 2 hours, which I think like an hour 45 would have been fine. And
Including credits?
sure, I don't know.
Ew! You're such a jerk. God. I mean, I see what you're saying. I wonder how they would have been able to play that little part into it, because I think that the whole reason that they had the newscaster was to show that he was the son of a bitch, that he's the one that outed her, essentially.
That's true. Yeah.
So we needed and that was so weird because it literally happens within the last like 10-15 minutes of the movie where they're like, oh, by the way, she's, his wife.
Yeah. Then
you're
he
like,
sees the picture on the
I
desk.
just kept waiting the whole movie for that to happen. I feel like they didn't. It was really strange that they put in Ellis instead of like choosing to somehow reveal that his wife is there, and then they kill Ellis because he was just a total dumbass.
So what I mentioned earlier with having some conversations on Twitter with people, there was a thing kind of going around the people I follow, at least, where they were listing like their 5 perfect films, like films that they just think are perfect.
Did Die Hard hit that
Die
list?
Hard is on so many people's lists,
That's crazy.
and that just tells me they saw this not right now.
Right.
And this has had like a standing with them for a long time. No matter what's problematic with it, it's a perfect movie for them.
Sure.
And, sure, whatever.
Yeah. And that also ties again into how you were introduced to the movie.
Right.
How many times you saw it.
Exactly.
Yep.
And I mean, I put my list out there, and I mean, that's on our podcast Twitter page. But it doesn't match. It doesn't like overlap with anybody's list that I know of. I mean, Die Hard did not make my list, and I made the list after I watched it.
I don't think Die Hard would have ever hit your list, even if you had watched it prior to today, or not today, but prior to this week watching it in its entirety. It's not in your wheelhouse. But that's really surprising that it hit so many other people.
Yeah. And I mean, even people that I don't follow, like people were retweeting other people's list, and there's just so much fucking Die Hard on there.
That's interesting. And it's this one?
Yeah, Die Hard 1. And I mean, fucking Cloverfield is on my list. Who the fuck likes Cloverfield? I mean, there's like a handful of people that I know of that even like the movie, much less consider it one of their favorite movies or a perfect movie at that. But again, that's just where I was when I saw it and how many times I saw it, which was a lot, and just what it meant to me at that time. So, I mean, I don't fault them for including Die Hard, but I just don't agree with it.
Sure.
So,
it's very interesting to me that IMDb has it as an 8.2, but Rotten Tomatoes has it as a 94. Like, that doesn't seem like a huge gap, but it kind of is. And then to see that so many people have it on their list, that's nuts.
Well, the difference between the two is I believe IMDb is getting an average of both user reviews and critic reviews.
Okay.
And because you can go on IMDb and rate something and write a review for it. Whereas Rotten Tomatoes has the Rotten Tomatoes score and the audience score. So the first one being critic reviews. So it's rare that the critic reviews versus the audience score is going to be anywhere close, but it's matched for this.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they're different, but I think they're also, I don't know, I think they get their data differently.
Gotcha.
I guess.
Yeah.
I personally, if I'm going to look at reviews for something, I'll look at IMDb and not Rotten Tomatoes. That's just how I've always been.
Yeah.
But,
well, if they have like a more umbrellaed way of making their assessments, then that makes sense. Still 94%. That's crazy. That means that if you have a room full of people, many of them will have Die Hard on their list.
94 out of 100.
That's disgusting.
I don't think it's disgusting.
It kind of is.
94 people gave it a positive review.
Ugh.
Out of that 100 people in your room,
Yeah.
which, how big is your room? It's very big.
I mean, if there are 100 people in there, I'd imagine it's a pretty big room.
Or cramped AF. I also thought that the limo driver, Argyle, was just a complete waste and fucking annoying. Everything about him was, it also kind of fell into that stereotype,
Yes.
which was bordering on offensive.
Yes.
There
There were a lot of things in this movie that were borderline offensive.
But I mean, again, 88, whatever.
Yeah.
But you know, I just didn't, I didn't like the character. Like, no matter, I just thought he was a waste.
Yeah. Well, there were certain characters and, just like you said, different little side stories that they created that the movie would have been fine without it.
Yes.
And shorter and probably more tolerable.
I think
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to bash the movie, but you're right. Like, I'm sure if I watched it a couple more times, those little parts would be kind of annoying because they are what makes the movie longer.
Right. I think the deputy chief is the worst character I've seen in a long time. That actor, and I'm sorry, I forget his name right now. But he always plays a dick. And like, he was in The Breakfast Club. He was the principal. And he plays that same character in Not Another Teen Movie, but as a parody of that character of the principal. He's a dick in everything I see him in. And in this movie particularly, I just wanted nothing more than like a stray bullet to just murder him.
Oh my God.
Like, oh my God. Like, the police officer, Carl, was doing a great job. By the way, he always plays a police officer. 'Cause that's like the dad from Family Matters, isn't it? With Steve Urkel. Yeah, he's a police officer.
Yeah.
Granted, those are the only two things I've ever seen him in. But
Maybe he just does a really good police officer.
just like Bruce Willis does a really good action guy.
Exactly. Comedic action guy.
And the deputy chief does a really good douche.
The deputy police definitely was really frustrating and really annoying. And I think that probably hit home a lot with people who are like, no, this is how it needs to do it. And you always have some kind of authoritative power that's like, no, this is how we're going to do it. You're like, you're not here. You're not paying attention to what's going on.
Yeah.
And so I think everybody could relate to just being like, you're awful.
Right. I don't know. Part of me thinks that person could have just been on the phone And just,
That's part of the comedy pants.
it wasn't funny.
Oh, it was hilarious.
No.
When he was like, "You couldn't drag me from here." You were like, "Pa ha 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 ha." That was Carl. That
was,
wasn't.
yeah. So
Yeah.
what are you even
He's
talking
like,
about?
If you want to go home, go home. Also, send in the car. I think they're send in the car. Send in the car.
It's like the trick off
It's
Austin
not
Powers.
funny, and it's kind of fucked up, but it. I laughed, which I feel really bad about, but it's fine. Whenever the SWAT officers get shot and they're on the floor, and again, it's not because them getting shot is funny. It's because they were like, "Ugh, ah, ugh." Like you heard like all four of them taking turns to be like, "Ugh." What did it remind? What was? What movie is it that at the end he's still going, "Ooh, ah, ooh." Somebody gets injured. Oh, fuck.
That just sounds like Peter Griffin on Family Guy. Where he always hurts his leg.
Oh my god, it's Buffy the Vampire Slayer, like
It's
the
not a
movie.
Oh, that is a
Yes,
movie.
yes.
I've never seen
And
that.
at the very end, he gets stabbed. One of the vampire gets stabbed, but he hasn't died.
Spoilers
so he's
for Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the movie.
There are so many in this one. And honestly, it's because it's kind of hard to talk about Die Hard because it was a movie. There wasn't a lot of things. There are things to poke fun of, but it just made me relate it to a lot of other things I've seen. But anyways, at the end of that was not funny. But at the end of Buffy the Vampire Slayer movie, like the vampire's like ooh ah ooh for a solid 30 seconds.
So is that a comedy?
No.
Because I knew about the TV show before I knew there was a movie.
And the movie doesn't even have.
Right. Because the movie was first, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was older.
I've never seen it.
Oh, it's good. And not in the sense that you're going to be like, "Oh, I can't wait to watch this again." But you kind of like those grungy films. And I thought it was really funny for
It's grungy.
when it came out. Is that the wrong word to use?
I don't know. What is grungy to you?
I don't know. I feel like everything I say you take so literal. So hold on.
I mean, as long as we're talking about characters that I didn't like in the movie, you did bring up Ellis earlier.
Oh,
who is just an asswipe
yeah.
and a coke addict.
I like the way you said asswipe. He's just an asswipe, and
He is.
usually when you're using asswipe, it's like the last thing you say. Like you're like asswipe, and it's definitive. But you're like, he's just an asswipe who, and I was like, oh, that's nice.
Okay.
I'm so sleepy. Continue.
I mean, there's not really much to say about him. He's a coke addict and a dick. I did think it was funny, and I pointed this out to you earlier. Whenever it cuts back to him, whenever he's talking to Gruber and whoever, and they put a Coca-Cola down in front of him, I can only imagine that they asked him if he wanted anything, and he wanted Coke, and that's what they gave him instead of cocaine.
Part of a Coca-Cola.
Yeah, I was.
He was like snorting coke in the lobby, wasn't he?
Yeah,
I think he did like
he
a
took
big...
a bump before he went in. He was doing lines on her desk.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
I'm like,
when they walked in.
How are you alive?
Yeah.
But I mean,
in front of Takagi. He didn't even care.
nailed it.
He just did I not?
No, you got it.
Okay, great. He walked in on him doing cocaine off of that table and didn't even say anything.
Yeah. Well, maybe Takagi thinks it's okay.
Oh, maybe. Was that like a thing in 88?
Cocaine?
Like where you were just like, oh, that's fine.
I don't know. I guess a lot of people were doing coke in the 80s. I was only there for like a little bit of it, so I don't know. The 80s, not the coke part.
Yeah, right.
I didn't see any when I was
Yeah.
there for the 80s.
I did feel bad for his character. I'm glad that he didn't. I was really thinking that he was going to reveal
Who they were?
Holly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that would have been better than the news guy.
Yeah.
Like that would have fit more with his character if he were just babbling and
then
let
tried
it
to
slip.
yeah, and tried to recover or something like that.
Right. And then, Gruber could have turned around and then seen the picture that was laid face down, the family picture.
I agree. It was interesting to put his character in there and not develop that. I did like the scene between John Wayne and Hans. John Wayne.
John Wayne was in this.
Oh my god. Yep, let's try that again. I did like the scene with Bruce Willis and Alan Rickman where John's character finds him.
He
Hans
plays American.
plays an American. And
It was such a jarring American accent. It wasn't good. That should have actually told me that Alan Rickman was not American.
there were a lot of pauses.
Yes.
Did you notice that? Yes, it was a little off-putting. Definitely to hear him speaking without an accent.
But without an accent for us.
Sorry. Yes.
Right. But he
without
he
his
had
normal accent.
Right,
there you go.
Right.
Or there I go. There I go.
I did appreciate all of the like really like over the top kills in the movie and how graphic they were. I thought that was fun. There was whenever they were chasing John McClane, it was right after he did the American accent thing.
Oh yeah.
And then they all came after him when he tried to shoot the gun.
Yeah.
And there's one part where some guy is jumping at, I think he's jumping at John McClane or something, and he just like starts shooting at his shins and his knee and just like ripping it apart.
And everything explodes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, everything's always exploding.
Yeah, that's true.
It is Die Hard.
Yeah, it was graphic for
It kept shooting
its
people
time.
in the head
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
Just like nonchalantly. Boof.
But they didn't show as much graphic nature as some of the movies now, but
Yeah.
for when it was pretty graphic.
Yeah, and it kind of made it seem like they didn't make a big deal out of it, which is I think what made it stand out to me was that they didn't make a big spectacle about someone getting shot in the head. It just happened, and then they moved on.
Yeah.
And there's kind of ruthless Germans. There was the line that John McClane said to one of the German guys. He had him in like a headlock, and he was like, "I'm gonna cook you, and I'm gonna eat you." And I thought that was weird. That I had to pause it, and I was like, "The fuck? What?" Like I know that's what it said. That's what the subtitles told me. It's such a weird thing. I would expect one of them to say it, but not John McClane.
Yeah.
Why is he trying to eat Germans?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I can't come up with anything for you right now.
Something I thought was super fucked up was whenever the two FBI guys came in and like took over, and they
It's so funny that they were like, the FBI guys are here right now, and then these two like they poked fun at a lot of law enforcement, like oh god, is it the sergeant? Is that what
the
position
deputy
was he?
chief?
Yeah, like they poked fun at the deputy chief, and then as soon as the FBI agents came in, they were just these over the top like violence hungry, or
Yeah.
you know, he was
I
like,
mean,
well, at least there's only going to be like some deaths.
Yeah,
That was
that's what I was about
crazy.
to bring up. Yeah.
Okay, good.
When they were in the helicopter, they said something along the lines of they're planning on losing 20 to 25% of the hostages.
Yeah.
And they can live with that.
Yeah, better stats than something else or whatever.
It's like, the fuck?
Yeah, it actually made me like think about it. I know that there are tough decisions that need to be made,
Right.
but isn't it crazy to you that I think that conversation has happened?
Oh, no, most likely. Yeah.
And
definitely.
that makes me so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Where they're like, okay, well, in this situation, we're going to lose, you know.
I mean, especially since they had just gotten on the scene. Like, they
They were so excited to be up in that helicopter and
they
shoot things.
They really were. Men. God. This really didn't have anything relevant to the story. I just thought it was kind of a funny choice for them to leave in whenever the deputy chief like sends or starts to send the guys in. I think the first time they're going through like some bushes or something, and one of the police officers like pokes his arm on like a rose bush, and he's just like, ow. And I don't know why they kept it in. It's so irrelevant. And for whatever reason, it made me laugh. So I was like, oh, that's real. They do be getting poked up.
Yeah, they do. I don't think that they're gonna say that out loud. They're trained to not think about things like that. To get poked. Stay away from the rose bush.
Now I'm just kind of going through parts I remember that I thought were funny.
Yeah, go for it.
One of the I think John McClane throws one of the German guys out a window, and he splats on the ground. And one of the cops, I forget who it was, but they just turned to the other and they're like, "Oh, I hope that wasn't a hostage." And then they just moved on. Like,
Maybe it was the FBI agents. They didn't seem to know
Probably.
what the hell they were doing.
Yeah.
Which I don't think is inaccurate.
Can we talk briefly about how the whole point of the heist was so he could get $640 million in negotiable bearer bonds?
Yeah, I didn't quite understand that. And then when they opened up the safe, there was a lot of physical cash. So what was it? Cash? Am I lying?
No, I think those were what bearer bonds are. Like, I'm not. I looked it up right after I watched it, and honestly have forgotten. But I know that they're like worth nothing now, and that they depreciate, and that it was very stupid for him to.
Well, maybe in 88
to go through all this.
So was he like a stupid bad guy? Or in 88
No, I think he was
relevant?
just like an over the top bad guy. That's why like his like crime syndicate people had like expelled him.
Ah, yeah. That makes sense.
Because he's probably just like too.
How did he find all these Germans to follow him if he's like shunned in the.
I just walked around Germany.
Wow.
And was like, you want some bearer bonds?
Bearer bonds.
Negotiable bearer
Yeah.
bonds.
Oh my
And
God.
they're like, see.
Mm-hmm.
How do you say yes in German? Guten Tag.
I don't know.
Schnauzer.
I can't take your racist things.
It's not racist.
It's not?
It's probably bordering on racist.
Ja.
Ja. Oh, yeah.
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 Yeah is good.
Yeah.
Yes
Guten
is
Tag.
good. Okay, moving on. That was really racist.
What's
Don't.
Guten Tag mean? I hear it a lot.
What does Guten Tag mean? Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guten Tag.
Hello. Okay.
Cool. I'm German now. You know what Kyle means?
Oh my God, stop. Let's see. What else did I like out of this movie? One thing that I thought was funny and kind of nostalgic, at least for the movies that I saw growing up, where she was by no means a damsel in distress. That's not what I'm getting at. But at the end, when he finally is reunited with her and they do that like really long like kiss where their faces are just like, I wish there was a way for, yeah, they're just like smooshing together. It's like a very passionate like, oh, thank God, you know. They don't do that anymore. And I'm really glad because it's so
uncomfortable.
awkward. They're like,
Like if you ever, so you, I don't know why this is the first thing that comes to mind, but Psycho, the Alfred Hitchcock movie. I don't know if you've ever seen it or not, but have you seen it?
I'm unsure.
Okay. With Norman Bates and the motel. Okay.
Oh yeah, I've seen Psycho. Sorry.
Cool. So you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. There's like some like romantic scenes for that era in the beginning, and they couldn't make out. They couldn't do tongue. Like they couldn't do anything. Like this was the first movie to show a toilet flushing because that was frowned
That's a crazy
upon.
fun fact.
Yeah.
Wow.
But anyway, they just like completely closed mouth, like motioned like they were making out, but just like
Moving their heads.
Yeah.
That's the thing that bothers me. I think it's like
it just made
just
me
the
really dizzy.
Yeah. I think it's just the overplay of
Right.
being in each other's faces. Like,
Yeah. But nowadays they use like too much tongue.
I agree.
I'm like, calm down,
Sometimes
Christian
it's
Grey.
a little sometimes it's a little much and I start getting like
It all makes me uncomfortable.
yeah,
It makes you what?
skeevy. Like it gives me like weird.
Skeevy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yas.
No, yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah. No, but I agree. Some forms of PDA in movies are too much and it's unnecessary, and you're like, where did this come from? And some it plays a good part, but most of the time they just throw it in, and it's.
Well, it also depends on like their chemistry. Like if it's two people
Talking
that
about The Last Jedi.
God.
That's another really uncomfortable kiss.
Wait, what are you talking about?
What are you
oh,
talking
you're
about?
talking about Rose and Finn.
Yes.
I thought you were talking about The Rise of Skywalker, which you haven't seen.
No.
That's an uncomfortable kiss.
Oh, spoiler alert.
We're just spoiling everything, guys.
Even for me.
Oh, yeah. Man, now I'm thinking about the Rose and Finn kiss. That was... Oh.
But anyways, the reason that I bring it up is because, yes, that was played into a lot of movies when I was growing up, like in the 90s. I'm really glad that they've kind of gotten away from that now. And it's more a realistic portrayal. There's going to be kissing and things like that too, but I think that was something that was really over the top.
Yeah.
It's also kind of an intimate, like, private moment for a lot of people, and so you feel bad kind of looking in on it, like. Well,
I mean, McClane and his wife are just, they know what they're doing. They're publicly embracing and making out.
Oh yeah.
Making love. Yeah, it's
I don't have a lot to say about the movie. Like, no. It's hard to make fun of it other than what we've already done, because it's a pretty good movie. I just think there was a lot of things that were kind of excessive in it.
I think that like the main talking points are the stuff that is uncomfortable or doesn't work or is funny. Mm-hmm. Because the actual plot of the movie is pretty straightforward.
Yeah. And
bare bones. And there's a lot of like iconic imagery from the movie that I've seen everywhere. Like, you know, him crawling through the AC vents. The vents. And, I did read today that his wife beater.
Okay.
Tank top. I don't think we can say wife beater anymore.
Okay.
It's canceled. Yeah. Is in the Smithsonian.
Oh my.
He donated it in 2007.
That's awesome. Mm-hmm. That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I wonder how long it'll be there.
Forever. I do think it was weird that Hans did not know what Takagi looked like.
Yeah. You would think that if he owned the building, he would have done his research.
Right. And known who to get for the codes and shit that he needed.
I hadn't even thought about that. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. Like he was like going through the crowd of them, like describing who he was and trying to like feel him out and going up to every Asian guy and being like, is it him?
Yeah.
I was like, racist.
Yeah.
Canceled.
Profiling.
Right.
I mean, he was Asian, but
we don't know that.
The history he was giving showed that he was Asian.
Could have been a false history. But also, one of Hans Gruber's guys looked a lot like Jeffrey Dahmer, and that was uncomfortable.
Which one?
The German one.
Oh.
It's like one of the first ones they showed. He had like big glasses.
Yeah.
And I was like, that fucker's gonna eat some homos.
Oh my god. It was really surprising to me that security wasn't tighter on that building too, that they were able to get in so easily, because the guy like sees that car pull up and he's like, it's one car, you know?
Well, I don't think it was like a fully like working building yet though. I think that was part of it, was still under construction. So they probably had like the doorman or the guy at the desk just like direct people to like the few working floors, I guess. But I don't think it was a fully operational building yet.
Yeah. Well, still.
And that could, I mean, that could be a plot hole.
If they had that many assets, then even with 7 different codes to get into the safe or whatever the case may be, you would think that they would still have tighter security.
You would think.
Yeah.
But they didn't.
But then he would never die hard. He didn't die. What? Why are these movies?
Well, Gruber died really hard.
It's not why they called it Die Hard.
I think it is.
Is it?
I don't know. Maybe it's because it's hard for him to die. Or it just sounds cool.
Then they could have been called Hard to Die.
They have some funny ass names over in Germany for the movie.
Oh, do they?
Yes. Hold on.
Okay.
Hey guys, I actually plugged this portion in at the end of the show after the outro music. So be sure you stick around to hear Tina guessing the film by the foreign title translation. It's pretty good. All right, back to the show.
Well, that was Die Hard. Mega hard. Any closing thoughts on the not really Cliff Smith classic?
Cliff Smith classic.
Die Hard.
I was about to tell you that, you know, my final closing thought is, what a great American Christmas classic. Pants. Would you watch this movie again?
Sure.
Would you watch it during Christmas?
Depends on what my other choices are.
So maybe not on purpose, but you would watch it during Christmas.
I mean, if it was on. I think that's probably where I have seen it, is because someone had it on at Christmas. Like, I haven't seen the whole thing, but probably venture into the sequels.
Yeah.
More
I'd be
so than
interested
I
to
would
see.
with some of the other stuff we've watched.
Yes. I think that it would be interesting to see the sequels, but it would be one of those things where it would be probably playing in the background while I was doing something else. Look up occasionally.
I hate that you watch movies like that. It's so frustrating. Yeah, it was good. I don't have the same affinity for it as other people, but we've gone over those reasons. It's a good movie, not perfect. It was like mega okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Sure. So
Hey, Pants.
enthusiasm, Tina. Hey, Pants.
Sorry. Let's try that again.
All right.
Hey, Pants.
Yes.
How many Cokes served by fake long-term friendships would you give? I'd have nothing, Pants. I literally have nothing.
Stretch.
I have nothing.
How many
okay.
Cokes served by fake long-term friendships?
No,
would I
hold
give
on.
Die
I've
Hard?
got it now. Hey, Pants.
Yes.
How many cocaine bumps would you give this movie?
Okay.
I don't think anybody calls them cocaine bumps, but I had to tell you where I was
No,
where I
a
was
bump
coming
is
from.
yeah, that's what
Yeah.
a bump is.
But people don't go, let me get a cocaine
A
bump.
cocaine bump. Like something a cool mom would say.
Yeah. I'm a cool mom.
Can I have a cocaine bump? Oh my gosh. I would give Die Hard 6 cocaine bumps.
Nice. I like it.
Yeah, I think Tina.
Pants. It sounded like you're just going, Tina. Sorry. Pants?
How many Jeffrey Dahmer lookalike Germans would you give Die Hard?
6.
6 what?
6 Jeffrey Dahmer lookalikes.
Germans.
German lookalikes.
No, it's
Wait.
lookalike Germans.
Lookalike Germans.
Now say it again.
It was so hard just to say those little parts. I would give this 6 Jeffrey Dahmer German. Nope. I would give this 6. I don't want to say his name anymore, Pants. I would give this movie 6 Jeffrey Dahmer lookalike Germans.
Would you?
Man.
Why 6?
Because 5 feels too indifferent.
Okay.
But
Same.
6 is more on the side of liking it versus just being kind of
Neutral on it.
neutral. Because it wasn't a bad movie. I'd watch it again for sure.
That's pretty much my thought process.
Yeah.
I mean, movies that I watch all the time, I would probably give a 6.
Yeah.
So, it's no fault to it.
Yeah, no, and it's not being offensive. I just don't think that this is going to ever be a classic for either of us because it was not something that we grew up with.
That's correct.
So I think a 6 is a fair number considering this movie did not age well.
I think it aged okay.
I think you aged okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
That makes one of us. So, we're going to be foregoing rolling this week.
So excited.
Because
Except I'm not.
I am picking the movie due to Tina not being able to keep a podcasting schedule. So,
I was sick. And Pants makes me feel bad about being sick.
yeah, well, don't get sick.
Well, don't be an asshole.
I think right now Jason X is winning, but we will see.
Is that the one in space?
Fuck yes, it is.
Oh my god.
I'm so excited. I love Jason X so much. So that is what we will be doing next week. Until then, you can find us on Twitter at WTF Did I Watch Pod. You can email any questions, comments, concerns.
Affirmations.
I love affirmations.
Me too.
You don't get any.
Wow.
You can email those for me at WTF did I just watch pod at gmail.com, which will also be in the show notes.
Yeah, whatever. We are on Apple Podcast, Spotify, Google Podcast, etc. I love doing that. If you are listening to us on Apple Podcast, definitely make sure that you subscribe, rate and review us. Tell your friends about us. Leave us a review and let us know how we're doing. It helps people find the show. That way we can continue providing you with the best content on the internet.
It's also streamed on YouTube as well, if that's your thing. It's not a live recording. It's literally just the recording with some animations. So, yeah, if that's your thing, go for it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for listening, guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Guten Tag.
Hello.
No.
Yeah.
Aloha.
Okay, whatever. Adios.
Aloha.
Ah, that works.
See.
Okay, bye.
Yeah, bye.
Can we plug this in so that we can have something exciting at the end and then we'll cut it?
Yeah.
It'll just be me guessing.
Yeah, okay. So let's see. Love in the Skies.
Love in the Skies.
So it does not tell me what movie this is, but it gives me like a little picture with like the logo that kind of looks like it. So I'm pretty sure this is Top Gun. I don't know what 11 Men and a Secret is. Oh, it's Ocean's 11.
11 Men and a Secret. That's awesome. I wonder why they translate it that way. Is it because like a direct translation would be weird, or it
Maybe.
makes sense if it's in German?
I have no idea.
I'm not sure.
It probably gets changed to their language, and then whatever they have that closely fits it. And then when it comes back, if you translate it back directly, it's
then
different.
It's weird. Yeah.
There's The Boy Who Drowned in Chocolate, which is Willy Wonka. There is Mr. Cat Poop.
What?
As Good as It Gets is Mr. Cat Poop, which is weird. The Young People Who Traverse Dimensions While Wearing Sunglasses.
Is that the Matrix? Yes. Oh, what is happening?
Army of Darkness, the third in the Evil Dead movies, is Captain Supermarket.
Supermarket.
Because he works at a supermarket. Yeah.
Wow.
Unfortunately, I have not gotten to Die Hard. Okay. In Germany, Die Hard is called Die Slowly. In Greece, it is called Very Hard to Die. Norway, Action Skyscraper. And Poland is The Glass Trap.
Interesting.
Die Hard 2, which the subtitle for it in America, it was Die Hard 2, Die Harder. That was in 1990. In Spain, that is The Jungle 2, Red Alert.
That's so interesting that marketing for those places, like, they're changing their names to... I don't know if they're making it more appealing or they're being funny.
Oh, I highly doubt they're being funny. I mean, they are, but... So I think Die Hard with a Vengeance probably has the best one. So in Denmark, Die Hard with a Vengeance is Die Hard Mega Hard. Two more and we can stop. 2007's Live Free or Die Hard in Hungary is Die Hard 4.0, the most expensive of your life. I feel like it's missing a word, but no.
That title is very confusing.
And then 2013, Good Day to Die Hard in Lithuania. Tough Nut to Crack, A Great Day to Die.
It's funny how all these
there's so many
these movies
like
get translated in other
funny
places.
ones. The Electronic Murder. What do you think that is?
The electronic murder.
Murderer.
Murderer. I don't know, Pants. What is the electronic murderer?
Terminator.
Oh my god.
Holy shit. Toy General Mobilization is Toy Story.
Toy General Mobilization.
And that's
Nice.
Chinese.
Nicely done. Nicely
Super People General Mobilization is The Incredibles. Oh my god, they're all mobilization. Finding Nemo is Seabed General Mobilization.
done. I wonder what
Ratatouille,
that's about.
Food General Mobilization. And Wally, a favorite here at the podcast,
I love Wally.
Machine Implement People General Mobilization. These are wonderful.
What do these mean?
They mean the movie titles, but worse.
Wow.
11 Men and a Secret might be one of my favorites. Also Die Hard, Mega Hard.
Both of them sound like a porno.
Mega Hard. Oh, man.
And 11 men with one secret.
I think it's 11 Men and a Secret.
Oh, 11 men and a
Please
secret.
get it right.
That they're all together.
Yeah, it's a porno.
Oh, man.